Hello, I'm Dave Abram.
And I'm Kristin Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll talk to a local Muslim leader about the tragedy in Orlando, and we'll preview the Earleigh Heights carnival, the first making headlines this week. Well, it's finally official. The County Council this week approved the budget for the fiscal year 2017 after lots of deliberation and compromise. The budget contains no new taxes and key investments in new schools and parks, as well as pay raises for teachers, firefighters, and police officers. The $1.3 billion budget was approved by the unanimous 7-0 vote. Now here are some highlights of the budget. $6 million to begin construction of Crofton High School. Go Kragen.
Release the Kragen.
Release the Kragen. $5 million in pay increases for teachers, police, firefighters, and other employees. Another Wahoo, sir.
Woo!
$10 million to replace the police academy in Davidsonville. Hit it, Dave.
We need that.
Okay, that wasn't as enthusiastic as a Wahoo, but I'll take it. $20 million for new libraries in Annapolis and Riviera Beach. Yay, books.
Riviera Beach, yeah!
And $3 million to accelerate construction of Tyler Heights, Richard Henry Lee, and Edgewater Elementary Schools. The final Wahoo?
Wahoo, Annapolis!
Wahoo! Final deliberations took less than 1 hour, which shows a high level of cooperation between the executive and the council. This is exciting stuff, David.
They finished in less than an hour.
That's amazing.
I've never
Is this
seen
record
that.
timing? Do we have a Guinness?
So. I don't think we have record keeping on that.
We don't?
Well, you know, when you go back into like the 50s,
Yeah.
I think we're lacking in our time counting there, but you know, certainly in the 10 years or so I've been following this, I don't remember them ever having the budget being done in an hour.
Right.
Now, of course, it was an hour when they struck the budget. They call it striking the budget. Like
Well,
strike.
if history dictates how we should proceed, then of course we need to have a pizza party for the county executive
we do need a pizza
and the
party.
council.
Today, the theme of today's show is
Pizza.
Everybody needs more pizza.
I was just watching the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle films like a couple days ago. Remember those?
Wow.
When they really look like turtles and not like the stuff they're putting them in now, this weird CGI alien looking
Oh,
things.
here we go. This is
Back in my day.
Oh my gosh.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles look like turtles. They weren't afraid to eat pizza, and they knew how to rock and roll. Get off my lawn.
Wow. This editorial expressed the views of Kristin Lagana and
Kristin Lagana solely.
only, and are not the views of the management.
Who's the management?
Moving right along.
Is that you?
That's great stuff, Kristin. Well done.
Are you disagreeing with me? You like alien turtles?
I don't really have an opinion on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Get out of here.
Really, sorry.
Get out of here.
Well, Kristin, one of the items in the budget that became very contentious near the end was the proposal to improve Beverly, Triton Beach, and Edgewater. County Executive Steve Shue included funding in the budget to improve parking at the beach, allow for public swimming, and improve other amenities such as bathrooms. Nearby residents said the roads in the area could not handle the increased traffic, so Shue and the council agreed to slow down the process to allow for more community input. Approval of the project starts a 2-year effort to study traffic improvements and other issues. Now, advocates for public water access stood with Shue last week to explain that neighbors once opposed building Quiet Waters Park in Annapolis, which is now one of our most beloved parks. Here's what County Executive Jim Lighthizer had to say about the history of improving parks in the county.
I'm standing here and I'm thinking back to about 1986, 1987, when just a few years before I'd announced that we had bought what is Quiet Waters Park. And by the way, it was called Quiet Waters. It was a farm. And the good citizens of Hillsmere and the environment in the area had a party for me. And it was a champagne party. It was a champagne toast, toasting me for saving this beautiful, magnificent 330 acres, 3 miles of shoreline piece of property. And then about a year later, when I announced we were going to build a park, they thought seriously about a good old-fashioned lynching. They were not happy. They were furious. And I can tell you this without going into the who struck John. 2 things. One, it was the toughest political fight in my 16 years in politics. And Steve, welcome to the NFL. You're going to get it. The second thing I can tell you is that the day we opened it, Labor Day, 1990, everybody loved it. Everybody in the community, no exceptions, loved it. And as you said, County Executive Shue, the numbers speak for themselves. It is unarguably one of the finest parks of its kind.
Well, this issue really blew up on social media, Kristin, but I think we have a good understanding of all the concerns from the residents and plenty of time to make Beverly Triton an awesome park.
I agree.
It's already an awesome park, but
It already is.
a better park.
Yeah.
And I've been there before. It is beautiful.
I've been there.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
How can you not be a South County girl and not go to Beverly Triton Park?
Right,
And Mayo
exactly.
Beach and all of them,
Davidsonville Park.
That's right. Oh, Davidsonville Park.
Don't forget
Davidsonville. Well, Davidsonville Park wasn't around when I was little.
It's not a beach.
It's not a beach either.
You guys are landlocked.
We had Riverwood Park. That was it. Yeah.
So you had to go to Mayo if you were going to go to the beach.
If you want to go to the beach, yeah, you had to go to Edgewater and Mayo.
Now, since you're doing all this get off my lawn stuff,
Get off my lawn.
you have any like remembrance of bygone times when you went to Mayo Beach and it was just so much better and the world was a better
You
place?
stopped at the Selby Sub Shop, David.
Ooh,
You got a
yeah.
couple good subs.
Okay, you're onto something.
Went out on the boat, maybe some Pringles,
Yeah.
You had a good time.
You got some sun.
You talked about
You
old
put
Ninja
Crisco
Turtles.
on instead of suntan lotion.
That's right. You didn't talk about the new Ninja Turtles, I'll tell you that.
There were no new Ninja Turtles. There
That's
were
right.
only the Ninja Turtles.
But yeah, I loved going that way.
Cowabunga Dude, is that from the Ninja Turtles or
Yes.
did Bart Simpson?
No, Cowabunga Dude is Bart. Cowabunga is Ninja Turtles.
Really?
There is a distinction.
See, you learn all kinds of interesting things on this program.
That's right. That's what we're here for. Well, efforts by the county to fight heroin and improve collaboration between agencies won 2 national awards this week. The National Association of Counties honored our county with achievement awards in categories of civic education and public information, as well as county administration management. Our regular viewers are very familiar with the Not My Child effort to educate people about heroin addiction. It all started with the declaration of a public health emergency and then community meetings with parents and experts, videos, and the formation of a heroin task force. The second award was for the formation of core groups in county government. For the first time ever, the county created these groups so that public schools, the sheriff's office, the community college, and other agencies not under the direction of the county executive can meet quarterly and exchange information. Now, these core groups might not sound super exciting, Dave, but they really have led to some great accomplishments.
They have. It's one of those things. It's kind of hard to like make an entertaining appeal to it, but if you see it in action, there have been times, I'm sure a lot of our viewers are familiar with this, where squabbles have broken out between the county executive's office and be it the public school system, the college, the sheriffs, whatever. There's a lot of agencies in the county that serve the same people and basically have the same goals in mind, but they're not in the same organization. So something new the county executive did is he said, let's create these kind of topic areas and let's have all of these folks meet regularly, be in the same room, and whenever you have a meeting, like ideas come out because you just have all these different viewpoints. And one example that stood out to me was out in West County in the Laurel area. There's a lot of, in Odenton as well. There's concern about hotels that have become problem spots for crime and human trafficking, drugs use and sales, that sort of thing. And they were having a core group meeting. They were talking about this. And Pam Brown from Children, Youth, and Families, which is a small agency, it's state funded, so they've always been kind of on the periphery of county government. Well, now they're in the room with everybody else, and she said, be careful, you're shutting down some of these establishments and you're displacing families that cannot afford to live anywhere else. So she hooked up, the United Way there and made it so when that did occur, when a business was shut down, that the children and the families were able to get assistance through the United Way and have housing and not be left out on the street because of criminal activity from somebody else.
Well,
so that's just one example. This happens all the time at these meetings.
Yeah, and it's a common thing on this program that we really discuss, that a lot of progress has been a result from collaboration. And that's
right.
What's working, that's what will keep working, and that's what's led to 2 national awards.
Right.
So.
I mean, when you're hanging out with someone in the same room and you have to talk to them face to face, you're a lot more likely to work with them better than if you see them once a year and then all of a sudden they say something in the newspaper and then you react and then you have a big problem. So that's part of the mechanism for why everybody seems to be working together really well right now. So I think it's worked really well. And it's really
clearly
nice.
has.
It's very nice to be recognized.
Yes, congratulations
by NACO.
to us for getting those awards.
Congratulations to us.
Congratulations to us. Well, not really me, but
it's a lot of people. I mean,
to everyone who's working hard, we thank you for your time, your effort.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Rudwan Abu-rumman about the terrible massacre that occurred in Orlando, Florida. take a look at our community calendar for events happening around town, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation. You're resigning. Why? You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. Oh, I forgot. I'll do better. Please don't quit on me.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back. Joining us in the studio this week, we are delighted to have Colonel Rudwan Abu-rumman joining us. Sir, how are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Very good. And you are part of the Anne Arundel County Muslim Council, correct?
Correct, yes.
What is your role with them?
I'm the president of the council since 2007.
Since 2007?
Yes.
Wow.
And people probably recognize Rudwan because any community event we have, he's there. I mean, he goes to everything, and he brought us pizzas for the last community town hall with the police department, like, what, 25 boxes of pizza.
Well, if you bring pizza, you're in.
Right,
Yes,
which is
and
great.
to the Human Relations Commission I did, and to the Annapolis Elementary School.
And you
I
brought
did
pizza
for the
today, right?
graduation.
Where's
Did you
that
bring pizza today?
Today I'm fasting, so I'm sorry, it's no
That's
pizza.
right. We're observing Ramadan right now. Why don't you
Correct.
tell us about Ramadan?
Ramadan, our holy month Ramadan is that we fast for 30 days from dawn, which is 1.5 hours before sunrise till sunset, where we don't eat and we don't drink water or anything. We abstain from all food or nutrients to come through our body, even including injections.
How are you doing right now?
I'm doing very well, and I think you probably plan it to 3:30, so you can beat me up when I'm hungry.
Yeah, you're angry.
I get hungry very quickly.
Me too.
So
So I was raised Jewish, and we have Yom Kippur, which you also fast, and I get very hangry very fast. Tell us the reasoning behind the ritual in Ramadan.
It is mandated by our teaching, which was the same thing for Christianity and Judaism. It was mandated for the same thing. Actually, it was 40 days. For Islam, we had 30 days, but with time, your rabbis and the Pope, and they alleviated the load. But in reality, we all start as Muslims, whether Christians, Jews, or Muslims, by message from God. The idea that we believe in the holy books, and all the holy books have the same
It's atonement.
recommendations.
Atonement, right?
Correct. So we keep that, but again, the healthy people, if you can fast, you have to fast. But healthy, which is healthy people, but the older people or sick person are excused from fasting. Or if traveling, and you can fast after the month of Ramadan. But during month of Ramadan, you only healthy people, they have to fast. And normally start with the children 10, 12 years old, not because we mandate them to make them fast while they're 9, but they see the parents and they're jealous. And with the little children, my children, when they start fasting, we used to tell them, we're going to sew the 2 days together for you, so you fast till noon, and we sew them for you tomorrow.
That's
Just
nice.
because we want them to feel with us, because they will feel jealous. I actually, one time we didn't wake up one of my daughters, and she was 8 years old, and she came next day. She said, I'm going to punish you. I'm not going to eat today.
Wow.
Wow. Certainly wow.
Just like when we were kids.
Yeah. I'm not going to eat today.
Yeah.
Because we didn't wake her up at 3:30 to eat with us.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now we introduced you today on the segment as Colonel. You were a Colonel in the Royal Jordanian Air Force, correct?
Correct, yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I had a training in the United States in 1967.
Okay.
And then, of course, my military training, military academy in Jordan, United States Air Force, United States Army, another year, United Kingdom High Commanding Officer course, the Pakistan Air Force for 1 year operation officer. So I get a training from different countries. And one of my tours, I managed a program for Jordan with Westinghouse for 3 years in Linthicum, where we built a system, and I have 170 people, my supporting staff from Jordan with me. We were, for 3 years, we built the system and we took it back to Jordan in 1988.
Wow.
Well, obviously, we're having you on the show for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is to try to explain to people the difference in the national headlines and what's going on locally. Obviously, we had the tragedy in Orlando this week where 100 people were killed or injured in this massacre that occurred, and the gunman supposedly was swearing allegiance to ISIS and espousing terrorist views. What was your reaction, first of all, when you saw the news about this?
I was angry. I was angry and sad for the people who lost their lives and for someone who have a Muslim name, because actual Muslim will not commit a crime such that's a horrendous crime. That's to kill a human being, needless to say, 49 humans. So in our teachings, that when you kill one person, as if you kill the whole humanity. So this, number one. Number two, it's our holy month Ramadan. We are not allowed even to shoot a rabbit to eat.
Right.
We're not allowed to shoot anything to kill an animal, and yet he goes and kill people. But the thing is, we always have to wait and see what was the motives for criminals. He's not the only criminal in the United States who commit a crime or massacre. And looking at the news and hearing the things going on, the one should assume, anyone with intelligence, not with a media intention or politician for a purpose, will assume that it's jealousy from a gay man toward other gay people. This man, he's a gay man. He have frequent the same nightclub several times in the last year, actually, that we were told that some of the patrons already knew him, and that's what we think, or I think he were able to get a machine gun inside. So he must have somehow connection or known to them. His ex-wife, which she was for 5 months and he imprisoned her, beat her up, she said he used to spend hours in front of the mirror. And a man don't need to do that. Plus, you hear in the media that he's coming, we're going to stop the refugees. This guy is born and raised in New York. So we are just surprised by the media, but it's normal for our media.
Right.
If we all realize what Wayne Simmons from Annapolis did for 10 years, he was a main anchor speaker on the Fox News. He was telling them that there was in the United States 19 camps training Muslims to take over America. It turned out he's a liar. He was never in the CIA, he was never in the FBI, he was never in any law enforcement. He was a used car salesman or furniture salesman. So, and yet he was given the microphone, he was dressed real nice and appeared in the Fox News to attack the Muslims. And all the channels were repeating after him. So this is what happened. This is a chance for politicians to attack Muslims.
And how does that sort of rhetoric square with the people that you interact with every day who live in Anne Arundel County? What's the Muslim population like in Anne Arundel County, and what are some of their views about these national politics?
Of course they're all angry. Of course they all feel sympathy and pain, because the people who are killed, they are Americans like us. And we sympathize with any American who get injured. Needless to say, they get killed. We feel like it's part of our body. But to tie it with Islam, we feel the politicians and the media are going out of line to tie it with Islam. And when they keep talking about stupidly saying radical Islam, there is no radical Islam. There is radical Muslims. There is no bad Christianity. There is bad Christians. There's no bad Judea, there is bad Jewish. In every faith there is bad people, and no Muslim ever attacked Christianity because of Jimmy Jones, or because of Hitler, or because of David Koresh, or because of Charles Mason. You never hear a Muslim anywhere in the world ever attack Christianity or Judea because of one person man. Why is it Islam get attacked? Because we have a criminal. We are human beings. We're 1.4 billion people living in the world, and we have the right, like everybody else, to have crazy people, to have mentally sick people, gay people, and he's one of them.
And it's not fair to use the term radical Islam.
Correct, because there is no radical. Islam is not radical. Islam is a peaceful religion like all the other faiths, and we have rabbis who are supporting us. We have Christian leaders who are supporting us, who are supporting when they read. But the unfortunate part, uneducated people, everything for them is new, because they cannot read, they cannot get educated. Like this guy is a gay. He's 1 year there. Why no media analyzing that how he can get his weapon inside without being caught? There's bouncers.
I'm sure that will be something everyone's trying to figure out. And I mean, we had the San Bernardino shootings. We'll probably never know exactly what happened there or what the motivation was. So, you know, there's no question that the frequency of these sort of events, regardless of whether it's related to some sort of rhetoric tied to ISIS or what have you, we're having these mass shootings on a fairly regular basis now. And there's a lot of talk in the media about how it's become routine that the whole country mourns for 49 innocent people, and then we get into our usual arguments about gun control and about immigration, and nothing really changes.
Absolutely. There is here is a machine gun. The gun he carries, we don't even supply to our soldiers in the field. Why is it a man can walk in and buy a weapon like that? Why is it the magazine had to be 40 or 50 bullets? He's not a soldier. Right. This is armament made for soldiers, but the politicians is fighting among each other, but they're not giving us anything as people. They're not protecting us to protect the handicapped from getting weapons. And it's the same thing like in the TV, they're talking about that if people even can be prevented from flying, how come they can't buy a weapon?
Right. I'm not an expert on it, but I've seen some information about attempts to do this before, and I think the main problem is that you can't make a simple law that accomplishes what you want to do without unintended consequences that infringe upon people feel infringes upon their rights. That's the problem, is that when you get down to the details of some of these bills, if we had an assault weapons ban, as it's known, would that really have stopped this person from doing what he did? We don't know for sure. We have some
probably
ideas
will minimize
about it.
The effect. If a criminal used 2 handguns and 2 pistols and went into a nightclub, no matter what he can do, people can compact him easier, and he's not going to kill 49 people.
And the one thing that we have changed, that we saw in this, is the SWAT teams have changed their tactics. They don't stand outside and negotiate anymore. They go right in there and eliminate the threat. That's a change that I believe came as a result of the San Bernardino shootings, where law enforcement has now collectively decided that we're not going to do this anymore, and at least there was it was still a terrible tragedy, but you wonder what would have happened if they stood outside and tried to.
I agree, but see, our law enforcement is doing a fantastic job, but we're not giving them enough ammunition or laws to do what they can do. If we allow the assault weapons to be sold, we're jeopardizing their lives. In danger. We're putting their lives in danger because of our politicians, because of our laws. So the law enforcement have nothing to do with this. They can't stop that. Because even the FBI, when they say the FBI, they interviewed him a few times, they couldn't prevent him from buying a gun because it's not within their laws. Because when he's free out from the FBI, he can buy any weapon he wants, anyone. But the main thing, we have found other criminals who have used other people to buy for them too. So mentally challenged people should be looked at seriously. Instead of we going around the country to save money, we closing, like we did in Maryland, we closed 2 mental hospitals.
Right,
Instead,
privatized mental health, yes.
And privatize them, making it private, and we make it worse. We making a layer to be paid on top of a layer, because even in a private, they're not going to do it for free anyway.
Well, it's interesting to me that I've known you for several years now, and we've never had a conversation like this. We always talk about, what's going on at, when's Crofton High School going to be built, or, what's the next community meeting. So thank you for being on with us to talk about this. And real quick, tell people about the event on Monday if they want to find out more understand more about Ramadan. And
we have a dinner, iftar, evening meal. It's open for the community. Anyone want to join us, they are most welcome. We specify Monday for our politicians and law enforcement. But during the 30 days, every day we have iftar, evening meal at 8:30 in Mecca Learning Center in Gambrel off St. Stephen Church Road.
And this is where Monday night's dinner will be too?
It's from now till the end of the month of Ramadan, which will till the 5th of July.
Right, but the Monday night dinner will be there too.
For this Monday is
Very
for
good.
politicians and law enforcement.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
I think that it's very important for folks out there to make sure that they're fact checking and knowing what they're talking about before we get into these discussions and having these debates. And Rudwan, we want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on the show today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Our family is no less than any other family.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Welcome back. Well, summertime is carnival time, Dave, and our own Pat Daly has a preview of the Earleigh Heights Carnival coming in just a few weeks. Pat?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Paul Demasky, Secretary of the Earleigh Heights Volunteer Fire Company, to talk about the great Earleigh Heights Carnival. Paul, tell us a little bit about the carnival.
It's our annual carnival. That's one of our major fundraisers. It has what you would expect at most carnivals. For rides, you've got the merry-go-round, the Ferris wheels, bumper cars. We do have a fun house that was purchased new last year. There are over 40 different rides and attractions here. There are various games. We do have a big 6-wheel. There is for food and whatnot. We've got everything from snowballs, funnel cakes, ice cream, fried Oreos. There's pizza, chicken tenders, fried shrimp, crab cakes. We're also doing pit beef in the back this year again as well. There's beverages for all ages. We have carnival bingo held inside. So even if it's raining, we can still provide you some excitement and fun.
Who handles the pit beef? Do you guys do that yourself?
We do. The volunteers prepare all the food and provide 90% of the drinks all here on site.
Great. What kind of rides are you going to have?
Well, we're going to have the Ferris wheel. There's a big slide, a merry-go-round. There is a Street Fighter for those that really like the thrill. We also have the Twister, Samurai. For the little kids, there's teddy bear rides, roller coasters, and some rides that are geared for even the wee ones as well.
Okay, great. I know growing up that the wheel and bingo was incredible in my family. My father was hot on the wheel, and my grandmother did the bingo. Forget it. Don't talk to her until it's over. So, anything else you want to add?
Well, the dates are from July 7th through the 16th from 6 p.m. to 11. The 50-50 drawing will go off the last night. You do not need to be present to win. Also, we are closed on Sunday, so that would be the 10th of July.
How much is it to enter?
We have a wristband for $25 all night that allows you to ride the rides all night long. We have coupons available on our website and also on Facebook that you can get a reduced price for the wristbands, and there's also coupons in there. If you don't want the wristbands and want to do individual tickets, there's also coupons where you can buy sheets of tickets at a reduced price as well.
Okay. What's your website?
It is www.ehvfc.org.
Great. Sounds like another action-packed carnival. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Pat. Now I want a funnel cake.
Me too.
Yeah, funnel cake.
Isn't that the best part of the carnival?
best.
Right when you get there, you open the door and it's like
Smell.
funnel cake.
All those smells. It's the best.
What's your favorite ride at the carnival?
I like the swings when they have them. The
That's
carousel
cute.
swings.
That's cute. That's
I'm
cute.
not good at like upside down, really like rock your head around kind of zipper stuff. I don't do well
I don't
with
like the
that.
spinny ones.
What do you like?
So I've always been somebody who, I love rides. I love roller coasters. The bigger and the faster, the better. Right?
Yeah.
But there's this ride that's at every amusement park, and it's called the Time Shaft. Usually the Time Shaft is.
Must be at every carnival I've never gone to.
Well, maybe I'm
'cause-
dating myself a little bit.
You mean the one you
Always.
stand in and it spins?
And you stick to the wall?
Yeah, no.
And you like throw your shoe up
Nope.
and your show.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, Barfarama, right?
Yep. Barfarama.
Total Barfarama.
Cowabunga, dude.
Barfarama on that one, dude.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I don't like that one. The swings is that's a good call.
Yeah.
You know, carnivals, you don't have roller coasters. Sometimes you'll have like a small kind of roller coaster that goes around in circles.
Yeah, those are fine.
But I don't like I do like the one, I think at King's Dominion they call it the Berserker. It's like a big pirate ship and it goes.
Oh yeah, does it go
swings
completely
back and
upside
forth
down?
And then it goes upside down.
Yeah, those.
I like that.
I'm fine with that.
That's fun.
But I think it's just something I've always liked about the carousel and the swings, where it looks like it's not. I'm sure they look like they're old and hand painted and vintage, and I love that.
So you're dating yourself.
I am looking at the artistry of a ride before I hop on, and I happen to enjoy the artistry of a good carousel or the swing carousel, Dave.
You know, artistry was involved in that.
It is.
Oh my God.
Look at it next time you're there. The painting on the carousels.
Oh my goodness.
It's lovely. I like the whole experience. So, what's your favorite food at the carnival?
Well,
Final
first of all, let me point out that we just talked about Ramadan, right?
Right.
And fasting for 30 days.
We always talk about food.
And what do? The minute Rudwan is gone, we start talking about food.
What's your favorite carnival food?
We haven't eaten in 10 minutes. So we have to talk about it.
Horrible.
We have to talk about food.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
No food and no water.
No.
I mean, I've fasted before, but my goodness, it's a very, very short period of time, and you're like starving. 30 days? No. I know. I can't.
So besides funnel cake, go.
Corn dogs?
Yes, that was gonna be mine.
Corn dog.
Sweet. Very good.
By the way, I noticed that my boss was on the show last week.
Yes.
He hosted
I
the
know.
show.
We didn't talk about that.
I got this email and it said, "Don't bother
Don't bother
showing up to the
showing
show
up."
this
Yeah.
week." And I was like, "Why?"
I gotta tell you, it was a nice change, but I did miss you. So
You missed me.
Nice,
Thank
nice
you.
to have you back on the show, Dave.
Well, you know, Steve Shue, he's not bad. He did a good job.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to sit up here, folks, and
It's not.
and do a show.
not.
You don't just show up, wake up one morning and say, "I'm going to host a TV show
That's
today."
right.
But Steve Shue, darn it, he did that. He woke up that morning and he said,
This is
"I'm
what
going
I'm
to
gonna do."
show.
And he did a great
Abrams,
job.
Get out.
Did a fantastic
Get
job.
out. I'm doing it," and it worked out fine. So.
And real quick before we sign off, I would be remiss as
Okay,
a
shout-outs?
theater major if I did not mention the Tonys. Fantastic
Really?
show. Yes.
Really?
And of course, I'm always super impressed by the musical numbers that they do there. But big shout
Didn't see
out
it.
big shout out to Hamilton.
Of course.
They of course clean
you know what?
house.
Wait a minute.
The Waitress, they gave a phenomenal performance. I'm talking about theater right now. Just shh. And James Corden did an amazing job hosting. So if you're not a fan of theater, you can be a fan of James Corden and know he was a great host.
Well, Kristin, this is a news show. And on news shows, you take the top stories and you talk about the top stories.
The Tonys happened on Sunday.
And you're talking about the Tonys when we have probably, I'm going to argue, one of the best NBA finals in history.
Here we go.
You know, we have LeBron James and the LeBrons against Steph Curry and the Currys.
Okay.
And it's amazing. I mean, it's great stuff. Now, the games haven't been close. They've been like, you know, blowout. One team blowout.
I dreamed a day and dreaming days gone by.
Don't turn.
I messed it up.
Don't turn the NBA playoffs into show tunes. It doesn't work.
Living.
Anyway, folks, what I'm trying to say is
525,600 minutes.
God, I mean, I don't even know what to do now. You know, I'm just saying, you know, consider.
What you're going to do is you're going to read an outro
You
for the
didn't
show.
even sing the Frozen song.
That's not.
Next time she'll
that's
sing
not
the
on Broadway yet.
Frozen song.
You're going to read the outro,
Let
and
it
then
go.
we're going to finish off with jazz
Let it
hands.
go.
That's what we're going to do.
Is Let It Go totally done now?
No, it's not Broadway. Go.
Oh, okay. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. I didn't know Frozen wasn't on Broadway. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by simply searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county, and we'll see you next time.